Poranek rozpoczął się w rytm utworu Working Class Heroes Work Silo Greena, gdy załoga Artemis II, lecąca około 65 235 mil od Księżyca, rozpoczęła przygotowania do pierwszego celu testowego tego dnia. Oceny skafandra Orion Crew Survival System. Załoga usłyszała również specjalną wiadomość od astronauty Apollo, Charlie'ego Duke'a. John Young i ja wylądowaliśmy na Księżycu w 1972 roku w module księżycowym, który nazwaliśmy Orion. Cieszę się, że widzę inny rodzaj Oriona, który pomaga ludziom wrócić na Księżyc. Podczas gdy Ameryka wyznacza kurs na jego powierzchnię. Poniżej, na Księżycu, znajduje się zdjęcie mojej rodziny. Modlę się, aby przypominało wam, że my, Ameryka i cały świat wam kibicujemy. Charlie Duke, astronauta Apollo 16, astronauci NASA Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover i Christina Koch, wraz z astronautą CSA, Kanadyjskiej Agencji Kosmicznej, Jeremim Hansenem, przeprowadzili pełną sekwencję operacji związanych ze skafandrami, w tym ich zakładanie i zwiększanie ciśnienia, przeprowadzanie kontroli szczelności, symulowanie wejścia do kabiny oraz ocenę mobilności i zdolności do jedzenia i picia. W dalszej części dnia załoga otrzymała ostateczne cele naukowe dotyczące Księżyca po wejściu w strefę wpływów grawitacyjnych Księżyca. Miała także wykonać odpalenie silnika z korektą trajektorii lotu. Ale i tym razem odstąpiono od tego manewru, co dodatkowo może świadczyć o niespotykanej precyzji wprowadzenia Oriona na trajektorię doksiężycową, a tym samym o nadzwyczajnej jakości europejskiego modułu serwisowego, napędowego, opracowanego przez ESA.
You are seeing live views right now from one of the solar array wings aboard the Orion spacecraft. As mentioned not too long ago, there is a surveying activity taking place while the crew is asleep. This is where the flight control teams on the ground here maneuver the solar array wings to take a look at the command module, which is sort of on the top left side of your screen, as well as the service module, which is on the bottom part of the spacecraft. This surveying activity essentially checks for any damage post-launch. The flight control team on the ground will conduct an additional surveying activity post-lunar flyby. For now, this is Mission Control Houston.
You're getting a live look inside the Orion capsule at our 4 Artemis II crew members, now 106,000 miles away from Earth. We are standing by for their daily planning conference, where teams on the ground will be relaying up information for the crew as they start flight day 3. From left to right, we have NASA astronaut Christina Cook, Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, and on the far right, Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen. As we get a look inside Orion, a little scene setter for you. The interior habitable volume is 330 cubic feet, so that's about the size of 2 minivans. This is 60% more cubic volume than the astronauts had during the Apollo missions.
Integrity, small request, if you could tilt the camera down slightly towards the lockers. We have a great view of Christina and some of the boxes up above. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem, Chris. I did not mount it. I just kind of friction fit it, and I'll get a better spot for it later today, and we'll get a more permanent mount going.
Sounds like a great plan. Thanks.
Houston Integrity, we're ready for morning TPC.
Good morning, Integrity. We are so happy to be on board with you today. You guys look great. That cabin config looks amazing. We would love to be on board as much as possible today. We'll stop streaming for the family conferences, but would request to come back on board afterwards to share your mission with the world. I have quite a number of topics for you today. I'll start with trajectory. We are actually going to continue evaluating the need for OTC-1 based on the small magnitude of the burn. We'll have an update for you later. A couple of vehicle statuses. In order to address what we saw last night with the small increase in ox tank pressure accompanied by a small decrease in the ox helium tank pressure, we did to do some troubleshooting, we closed the valve ox helium ISO 1. You can see this on the top left of your prop ohms plus X page. We're continuing to look at that. Don't have a full story for you yet.
Okay, I'm not at the displays right now, but I will take a look at that soon. All right, it was really great to wake up this morning and look out the window and see the full moon off the front of the vehicle. There's no doubt where we are heading right now, and really appreciate all the work down there. It was also really awesome. Thank all the phytos. I can't believe that actually all worked. And when I saw that OTC-1 was like a 0.8 meter per second burn this morning on targeting, I thought we might skip it, and that is pretty impressive. All right, signing off.
Thanks, and copy all integrity.
That was the conclusion of the daily planning conference. However, if you listen to the start of that conference, you did hear the relay to the crew that we hope to have the cameras on as much as possible throughout this flight day to allow us to share their journey with the world. So we intend to be able to share the crew with you as much as we possibly can. They are going to move into some of their other tasks today. Again, you heard them discussing the OTC-1 burn, that's orbital trajectory correction burn, or sorry, outbound trajectory correction burn. And Christina Cook taking the camera to show us a wastewater dump. So you heard Commander Reed Wiseman reporting that they don't necessarily hear those wastewater dumps, but that they do see them. So you're getting a live look outside the windows of the Orion spacecraft as they conduct that wastewater dump.
Integrity, we copy that successful wastewater dump.
In the background, you're getting a look at NASA astronaut Victor Glover, pilot for the Artemis II mission, preparing to exercise. And what he is using is the flywheel device.
What we use on Orion, we have what we call a food warmer. It's about a little suitcase-sized device, and our biggest challenge is mass and volume on Orion going to the moon. And so we had to reduce the size of a galley. We would love to fly a galley, but we just can't because of the mass and volume challenge. So we have a suitcase that basically the crew inserts their food into the suitcase. It's a warming plate and heats it up to about 155 degrees.
This view outside the Orion spacecraft, you can see those solar arrays positioning. And a reminder, you can keep up with where Orion is at any time by visiting nasa.gov/track-Artemis. Currently, the spacecraft is 122,500 miles away from Earth and 146,000 miles away from the moon. We are 2 days, 1 hour, 3 minutes into the flight of ARTEMIS II, the first flight of crew aboard Orion. Spacecraft now 123,000 miles away from Earth. You're getting a live look inside the capsule as our 4 crew members, Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Jeremy Hansen, and Christina Cook, are wrapping up their midday meal, getting the opportunity to take photos out the window of Earth and the moon. We are in an LOS period, loss of signal from the ground side. This was tracked and communicated to the crew. However, we do receive communications from the crew members. Obviously, we have their live video right now.
This is Artemis Mission Control. You're currently seeing a live look again inside the Orion spacecraft. In the center of the screen is NASA astronaut Christina Cook, who is serving as one of the two mission specialists on the Artemis II mission. She's currently completing her planned daily exercise using the flywheel exercise device, which operates similar to a rowing machine but can complete different types of exercises, including resistive and aerobic exercises. And they were discussing moving the lunar flyby cabin configuration. During this particular activity, the crew will develop and document an ideal configuration of the Orion spacecraft internal cabin for the lunar flyby observation period, which will take place on flight day 6. And they will deploy various cameras and equipment that will be used during the flyby, and also work to adjust the spacecraft's lighting and positioning of each crew member to ensure once they make it to that flyby on flight day 6 that everything is well set up and thought out and placed, so that they don't have to worry about trying to figure out where all those cameras and equipment will be going on that actual flight day itself. Now the crew is going to start working on their pre-lunar flyby cabin configuration activity. So they're going to be deploying some cameras and other equipment that they plan to use during the flyby on flight day 6 to just ensure that they know where everything should be set up, where it should go, and where each crew member should be stationed for that observation period.
Houston, integrity on 1 for lunar flyby setup.
Go ahead.
If you still have the HHP, we're wondering, in Jeremy's position, if he's looking out the window there, will the moon be right side up or upside down?
We have a great view. We'll checking.
Alternatively, is the north pole of the moon going to be in the vehicle plus X direction?
Yeah, we're going to go with the first way you worded the question and say affirm it's upside down in the position Jeremy is in right now.
So if he flips over, it'll be right side up.
That's how it works.
Currently on your screen, you're seeing a live look inside the Orion spacecraft, which is named Integrity, and it was named Integrity by its crew. The crew is currently working through a pre-lunar flyby cabin configuration activity. All 4 of them are working to deploy various cameras and equipment that will be used during the flyby, which is planned for flight day 6 of the mission. They'll also be adjusting the spacecraft's lighting and positioning of each crew member to ensure that all of the equipment, cameras, as well as the individual placement of each of them works and will be seamless during the flyby observation period. And there you can see on your screen that the crew just turned out the lights on the Orion spacecraft. So now it's quite dark. And again, they are adjusting the lighting as part of that lunar flyby cabin configuration activity so that they can test the lighting as well as all of the camera equipment that will be used during the lunar flyby. And this is Artemis Mission Control. NASA astronaut Christina Cook is currently working through the Deep Space Network Emergency Communications Developmental Flight Test Objective, during which she's basically conducting a checkout of that emergency communication system on Orion while connected to that Deep Space Network.
And Integrity Houston, we have some news to share with you. As of 30 seconds ago, you are now closer to the moon than you are to us on Earth.
Wow, Jackie, thank you for sharing that with us. We all kind of had a collective, I guess, expression of joy at that. It's hard to imagine, but we can see here on our flight PFD that we are at 118,000 nautical miles. So yeah, you can do the math. We can see the moon out of the docking hatch right now. It is a beautiful sight. We're seeing more and more of the far side, and it's just a thrill to be here.
Houston copies.
Now, while they are officially closer to the moon than they are to Earth, they have not entered what is known as the lunar sphere of influence yet. That milestone will come on flight day 5. And when that milestone happens, that is when the moon, instead of the Earth, becomes the main gravitational force acting on the Orion spacecraft.
Yeah, Jackie, we just wanted to sync up with you. We know that there was some talk about some burnt smell from the heaters. Okay, Jackie, so this time we turned on the WHC on the toilet and it had that burning odor smell that we just hadn't experienced before. And so we just wanted to talk to you about it. We know we had a briefing on that. So the crew has smelt it once or twice before, but this time was stronger and was different. And we opened the door, everybody in the cabin could smell it. So we just thought we'd check in with you. We're not overly concerned right now. It's probably related to what we're told to expect, but we just wanted to have a quick conversation.
Integrity Houston on Orion to Earth 1 for the toilet. We've discussed, based on the pre-flight reports and the AGA readings, we're going to continue discussing on the ground, but we are comfortable continuing with the emergency comm DFTO, and we are comfortable with you continuing to use the toilet.
Integrity, this is the Canadian Space Agency. Do you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear. We're a long ways away. There's probably a bit of a delay, but great to chat with you. I got a few people joining me today. I got Victor and Reed here. Christina's working hard right behind the camera right now.
Hello, Jeremy. It's Lisa.
And so on behalf of Canada, I just want to say thank you to my colleagues for this opportunity. And I would like to remind Canadians, if we can send a human around the moon in 2026, just imagine what we're capable of doing next. Thanks so much for joining us on board Integrity. It's a great ship here, and we're closer to the moon today than we are to Earth. This is a big milestone for us, and we look forward to sharing more with you in the coming days. Wishing you all the best. Au revoir.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
This is Mission Control Houston from inside the Artemis Flight Control Room here at the Johnson Space Center. We are at a mission elapsed time of 2 days, 17 hours, 58 minutes, and counting. The Orbit 3 team of flight controllers is currently on shift in mission control, and we are gearing up for crew wake at a mission elapsed time of 2 days, 18 hours, as well as a handover to our Orbit 1 team of flight controllers. The Orion spacecraft is currently 168,000 miles and counting away from Earth and 110,000 miles away from the Moon. While the crew has been asleep, we have received some downlinked images from Integrity. So let's take a look at them. Here we can see Commander Reed Weissman through Orion's window. We can see him looking out, watching the Earth grow smaller. And we're all reminded that every single giant leap begins with leaving something familiar behind. Let's go over to our next image. And there we have Mission Specialist Christina Cook, looking at our blue marble that's giving us some perspective on humanity's innate need to explore. Very inspirational photos coming down from the crew.
This is Artemis Mission Control. Mission elapsed time, 2 days, 18 hours, 45 minutes into the flight of Artemis II, the first flight of humans aboard the Orion spacecraft. You're getting a live look outside Orion right now. The teams are maneuvering the spacecraft in the solar array wings. As you heard earlier, we are not having the outbound trajectory correction burn today. This was deemed unnecessary and has no impact to the mission or the lunar flyby. The translunar injection burn put the vehicle on the correct path back on flight day 2. And therefore, the team and mission control agreed that we could skip both outbound trajectory correction burn 1 as well as that second burn today. Skipping that second burn also allows the team to continue troubleshooting some of the universal waste management system issues that cropped up last night. There was a wastewater dump planned last night, a very routine and regularly scheduled action, and it terminated after only dumping 3%. So the wastewater tank is not currently full. It is at 64% with a limit of 80%, but the crew was instructed to use backup collection devices overnight if they needed. Part of the reason for reorienting the spacecraft today is to allow it to be in the sun, specifically where the primary vent nozzle is. They are hoping that spending some time in the sun will help thaw out potential ice that may be on that vent nozzle. Meanwhile, inside the Orion spacecraft, our crew just woke up. That wake up coming at 11:35 a.m. Central Time.
We have a small request for you guys. With this attitude that we're using for the bakeout, we're getting the sun on the window shades, and we're a little worried about them heating up too much. We would like to request that you please remove the window shades. We understand that will make it awfully bright for you guys, and we want to encourage you to use a t-shirt in the cabin or something similar if needed to block out that sunlight. But the shades will help us with the temperature constraint on the windows.
Okay. So we have our makeshift t-shirt on window 1. Is that one okay to stay up then based on what you said? And we'll take off the window 2 shade. The other ones are already off.
Okay, yep.
That sounds great. Thanks, Chair.
Huntsville, integrity for Avatar.
And integrity, Huntsville's with you.
Yes, good integrity morning. I think it's an afternoon for you. Avatar lights to report. All lights are on, ON, except for 1515.
Okay, we copy. Same status as yesterday. All lights on, ON, except for 15.
You recently heard a call from NASA astronaut Christina Cook, mission specialist on the Artemis II flight, down to the Mission Control Center at Marshall. This was to the Payload Operations Director, who leads science execution for the Avatar payload, which is specifically what she was referencing. Avatar stands for a Virtual Astronaut Tissue Analog Response. This is part of our strategy to get a holistic understanding of how the deep space environment affects humans. So this is organ-on-a-chip technology. It's about the size of a USB thumb drive, and it measures how individual astronauts respond to deep space stressors. These organ chips contain cells that were developed from pre-flight blood donations from the crew. For this research is to validate whether those organ chips can serve as accurate tools for measuring and predicting human response to stressors. So scientists will be comparing these Avatar findings with space station findings, as well as with those samples taken from the crew before and after the flight.
Hello, Houston. We are ready for morning DPC. Just a few things. We heard a rumor up here that it is actually Saturday back on Earth. We have definitely lost track of the days. We are showing 151,476 nautical miles from Earth, and it's going up about 1 mile every second, which is still a pretty impressive rate of travel. And thanks to your ops down there, we have got the sun beaming in all the windows. Morale is high on board, And looking out window 3, you can see a beautiful crescent Earth with the sunlight glinting off of the ocean and the swirling clouds. It's just a truly remarkable sight. We are ready to talk.
Gorgeous, Reed. We love that description. And first off, thanks to the Integrity crew for working on the weekend. So are we, but we are happy to do it. I want to start by asking if you would like to turn on the HHP camera for DPC, because if so, we'd love it.
Yeah, we will work on that right now. It might just take us a minute, and I'll try to start routing the video.
This is Artemis Mission Control. You're getting a live look inside the Orion spacecraft, named Integrity by the Artemis II crew. They are setting up for a public affairs event. Today they'll be speaking with NBC and CBS.
Integrity, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, from inside Integrity, we are ready for the event.
NBC News, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Integrity for a voice check.
Integrity, this is Tom Costello with NBC News. Are you hearing us okay?
Hey, Tom, it's great to hear your voice all the way up here, 155,000 nautical miles from Earth. How are you doing?
I'm well. Congratulations on your mission so far. I'm told this is the farthest interview ever conducted in history, and I'm wondering, how does it feel right now to be in a place that nobody has been since 1972?
Honestly, it is unbelievable that we in 1972, just being up here and seeing how difficult this is and how hard the team is working. We do have a little bit of echo on your call. We'll try to turn it down when we're answering, but this is a magnificent accomplishment to be up here, to see the moon, to see the Earth, and to know that we are between those two celestial bodies, and you can see it when you look out the window. The Earth is almost in full eclipse, the moon is almost in full daylight, and the only way you could get that view is to be halfway between the two entities. It is truly awe-inspiring up here.
I think as we go into Easter Sunday, thinking about, all the cultures all around the world, whether you celebrate it or not, whether you believe in God or not, this is an opportunity for us to remember where we are, who we are, and that we are the same thing, and that we got to get through this together.
This is Artemis Mission Control at Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. We have now reached exactly 3 days since the launch of Orion. You just heard the call to the crew that the solar arrays are in motion ahead of taking a photo. We're looking to get a picture of the crew in the windows of Orion. Photos are the priority of this event, so we'll stand by to see if we still have streaming, but regardless, we will be very excited to share those photos with you as soon as we possibly can. Make sure you follow NASA and NASA Artemis on all social media. That would be at NASA and at NASA Artemis.
Integrity Houston, our saws are in position to take this family portrait. So sometime in the next few minutes, we'd love to invite you to the windows to get it done. Thanks. All right, everybody, we're taking the picture, so say cheese and stay still for about 30 seconds while we perform this photography bracket from the saws.
Okay, we'll freeze in 3, 2, 1, mark.
The Integrated Communications Officer, or INCO, is helping take this picture of the crew aboard the Orion spacecraft, now all smiling in the windows of the place they've called home. We've had some great views both inside the spacecraft as well as outside, but this is the first time that we're getting to see the crew and the spacecraft in the same photo. As mentioned previously, we are taking pictures right now, so the streaming quality isn't as great. We look forward to sharing these pictures as soon as we possibly can, and make sure you follow NASA and NASA Artemis on social media.
It's taken a little longer than we thought. Thanks for holding. All right, everybody can relax. That was great. Thank you so much. We all look forward to getting your Christmas card come December. Thanks.
On your screen, a live view of the Orion spacecraft looking at the moon, our destination, now 96,575 miles away. On the left side of your screen is Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen, and to his right, NASA astronaut Christina Cook. During this demonstration, the crew will be able to manually pilot Orion once again and test its 6 degree of freedom and 3 degree of freedom. If you look closely in the background, you can see NASA astronaut and pilot Victor Glover filming part of this demonstration.
All right, and just giving you some handling qualities here for the yaw. Everything was nominal. I noted that with this orb mount, it does have some play in it as we knew, and so just applying some downward force to try and make sure you don't get coupling is required, but that's fine, that's workable. And then we had a little bit of coupling and roll, in both in the same direction on that one. So we had about 4 degrees of roll through the 20 degrees of yaw.
Copy all.
Okay, we just finished the 3 DOF maneuvers. The rates all seem the same, the response seemed the same. It is difficult to tell whether you might have some cross-coupling from the RHC or if it's from the vehicle, but we were pretty convinced in the last roll one that the coupling that showed up, which was 4 degrees, was coming from the vehicle and not the RHC. So the vehicle overshot by 7 degrees once it was released from the yaw left, and then it built up very slowly, built up a rate, and it looks like it's trying to take it back to where the RHC was released, but it's overshooting again.
Copy all.
And Jenny, we are going to switch pilots now. This will be myself in the seat and making comments.
Copy. We're following the swap. Thank you.
And currently on your screen, you can see CSA astronaut Jeremy Hansen and NASA astronaut Christina Cook swapping places as they continue through the manual piloting developmental flight test objective. Again, they are performing several different attitude maneuvers to compare 6 degrees of freedom and 3 degrees of freedom attitude control on the spacecraft. 6 degrees of freedom refers to the 6 ways that a spacecraft moves. There are 3 translational degrees of freedom: forward, backward, up and down, and left and right, and 3 rotational degrees of freedom, which are roll, pitch, and yaw.
Okay, I'm going to make a comment on the pitch up. There was some roll there. I tried a different technique where I actually kind of held the orb mount at the high end of its play rather than pressing down at the low end since I was pitching up. But I think that actually made it a little bit harder to keep the roll coupling out. So for pitch down, I'll go ahead and hold it at the bottom of its play. So in this, again, in the direction, in this case, of the pitch.
Copy all.
And Houston, we have some Earth and Moon viewers here who are putting in requests for different motions so they can see things in the window.
We're seeing them in the camera views and we're enjoying it. Look at those scientists go.
Not too long ago, they did surpass the 2/3 mark as they continue to close in on the moon, and they are expected to make that closest approach and their lunar flyby on flight day 6 coming up on April 6th.
Absolutely. One of the neat things that I'm seeing right now is in the sort of largest mare field, the one that sort of makes up most of the very western side of what you can see on the near side. There is a giant, it's much more obvious now that one of those mares is a huge basin because it's just right now, it's kind of at the 1 o'clock position. And I don't know the name of that big one. It's basically just west of where Serientatis and Tranquillitatis are, but it is phenomenal. And the moon we are looking at is not the moon you see from Earth whatsoever. And Victor is absolutely mesmerized by Oriental through the 400 lens. He says that not only in Oriental, but all around the basin, you can actually see the terrain. It's not an albedo change. It's not shadows. You can actually just tell that they are terrain features of the multi-ringed crater there.
Christina, we copied all of Victor's Oriental observations. That sounds amazing. And we think, based on your description of the basin that you saw, that is Imbrium.
Yes, that sounds right. I've never noticed that Imbrium has such a distinctive high albedo ring defining it. Also worth mentioning, we do apparently have a full moon. We can't detect any terminator at all. It looks like full limb all the way around.
And Jackie, we got Jeremy on there just for a minute before his PAO event. He's just got to look at this. As soon as I put my hands on the 400, it's just, you know, I'm not one for hyperbole, but it's the only thing I could come up with. Just seeing Tycho, there's mountains to the north. You can see Copernicus, Rainier Gamma. It's just everything from the training, but in 3 dimension and absolutely unbelievable. This is incredible.
Kathy Moonjoy.
And Houston, I can tell you that Christina now has the 400 millimeter, and she also is the queen of hyperbole. It's incredible.
Wow.
Kathy, Christina doing her best read impression at the window.
Hey, Jenny, how's that?
That's super. Thank you.
A great look at life inside Orion as the crew members prepare their day. Again, we're standing by for their DPC, their daily planning conference. In about 7 or 8 minutes, they'll speak with teams on the ground to discuss the day's timeline, any vehicle status updates, or any updates from the crew. There in the bottom of your screen, Commander Reed Wiseman brushing his teeth. Immediately upon wake up and before the astronauts brush their teeth or exercise, they are asked to take a saliva collection. Saliva provides a unique window into human immune system functions in a deep space environment. So dry saliva is collected before, during, and after the mission. The crew blots it onto special paper in pocket-sized booklets.
Go ahead.
Yeah, low priority. Can you please tell me a good stow location for the 2 lens caps? I looked up lens cap in the packing plan and wasn't able to find anything. Thanks for the help. Low priority.
Copy, Christina. Ivy is looking at it.
As we've seen throughout the mission, the crew will call down when they need to find something or when they need to store something. Everything aboard the spacecraft is tracked so it can be easily accessible or easily stowed and found later.
Houston, morning, and happy Easter to everyone down on Earth. We wanted to kick off our Easter Sunday by honoring our crewmate, Jeremy Hansen. We have a long-standing tradition in the astronaut office of the traditional astronaut pin, and when you fly in space, you change from silver to gold. And so we figured today was a perfect day to honor our friend, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen, with his flown astro pin. Wow, that sounds like it took a lot of people to make this little representation that we have in the office, this tradition, come to reality for me. So a lot of gratitude for all those people. It's a pretty special experience. Thanks for doing this, guys.
Congratulations.
Well deserved. It's an honor to fly with you, Jeremy, and to be here when you get your gold astronaut wings. We wanted to take a minute to commemorate the holiday that we have. This time of year is something that many religions and many cultures hold dear. It's a time of emotions such as joy, as well as solemnness, honoring what's going on both in our world and in our religious beliefs. Another aspect of that is our family traditions, and I know for me, if I was on the Earth right now, I would be with my family in Houston, the Monte Rosas, and we would be hiding confetti eggs in the backyard and watching two very sweet little girls go try to find them. So to commemorate that on board, we did hide a few eggs around the cabin. They were the dehydrated scrambled egg variety, but we're all pretty happy with them.
That's wonderful. We'll keep an eye out.
Yes, first I wanted to just say happy birthday to my father, Victor Glover Sr., and happy Easter to everyone down there on Earth. And with that, I will pass it off to Jeremy.
Thanks, Victor. Happy Easter, everyone. We're talking up here as a crew, and we did want to send a special Easter message on this day. And, no matter your faith or religion, for me, the teachings of Jesus were always a very simple truth of love, universal love. Love yourself and love others. And something for us being up here and looking back at all of you through one tiny window is that just resonates 100% true. And our goal as humanity should be to just follow in that example. There were many examples in the past, but that's one example of love that we can just all follow in those footsteps, and it'll serve us well.
And with that, Houston, we are eager and ready to start our exciting day of suit ops with you all. And we don't have any specific comments yet, but ready to hear what you've got for us.
Thank you, Integrity. A lot of gratitude for that message down here, and it's wonderful to see Jeremy get that pin. So thank you for sharing with us. Today is a big day. We're all tracking that down here, as I'm sure you are up there. Today, let's take our time. We will remember that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. While you are suited, we plan to have you voxed unless you request otherwise, and we will be silencing caution and warning from the ground. I have a few procedure deltas for you when you are ready. Copy, thumbs up. Today, during your suit up, we would ask that you cap the gas trap after all 4 crew members are connected to cooling. Read, there is a delta in your controlled depress to 10-2 init and term activities. Those are coming later today, so when it does come to it, you will be skipping the instruction to update the PPO2 max set point for flammability reasons. We will remind you with the instruction number when we get to those activities. Copy, thumbs up. We also expect that you will open visors 3 times today. When you do, for every one of those openings, you will use the instructions that you have in your daily summary, the first point, and that will override EPROC and vent overboard. Again, we will remind you as needed. Today, I want to give you a refresher on your bold face for loss of suit ventilation while visors are down. Today, we are running on scrubber ARS fan 1. Call me back if you want to run through that memorized response. Otherwise, I'll take your thumbs up.
We just went through a quick brief up here. We think we're good. Thank you.
Copy. We also will have a summary from our administrator's interview and comments. Those will be uplinked to you in a crew message. The goal is to have that available for you after the DFTO. Around that point before your midday meal, we're also planning another sync. We have a couple of other items for you, but we will pass them after the DFTO. They're for the remainder of the day. Finally, you can stow the lens caps, Christina, in F1 large AGA general use brown label.
F1 Brown, thank you.
Copy. That's all we have for you. We are ready to support you, and I'll take any questions or comments you have for me.
Okay, just 2 things on Avatar today for Huntsville. All lights except 15 and 16 were illuminated. Jenny, one question on the cap for the gas trap. You said to cap it after 4. Is that also after the 5 minutes have passed after the 4th crew member has connected?
Good words, Christina. After the 4th crew member and 5 minutes have passed since that connection.
Copy all.
And Christina, Huntsville copies the Avatar call. Thank you.
Great. Good Artemis morning, Huntsville. And Jenny, blanket statement for today. If you need adjustments to the view, please just ask real time as soon as you need them, even if it goes away. Unless we've told you that we are turning it off, we intend to be streaming with a good view for y'all.
Copy. Thanks for letting us know.
Houston integrity for docking cam.
Go ahead.
Is it okay with you if we keep the docking cam on the docking hatch window for today, at least for the morning?
Yep, that should be fine. Thanks, Christina.
After waking up at 11:05 a.m. Central Time today and entering their post-sleep period, the crew has just completed their DPC, their Daily Planning Conference. The Daily Planning Conference started with Canadian Space Agency astronaut receiving his gold astronaut pin. This is the first flight for Hansen, and therefore his pin, which is received upon graduating from astronaut candidate training, that is a silver pin that is given. When you become an astronaut and have flown into space, you receive a gold pin. In honor of the Easter holiday, the crew admitted they also hid some scrambled eggs around the cabin as prepared by the food lab here at Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, and offered some thoughtful words on the holiday as well as Victor Glover's father's birthday. Teams on the ground, especially Capcom Jenny Gibbons, provided some information about today's Ox suit demo and some changes to the procedures that they currently have. We confirmed that they will be opening their microphones, and we will be able to hear throughout that aux suit demo, as well as hopefully continue to receive good views inside the cabin.
Houston Integrity for an undergarment reminder.
Go ahead.